Truly is an honor and a privilege for me to welcome up tonight's speaker. I had the opportunity to meet our speaker in person the other day at the airport, and for those of you not familiar with the Miami airport, it's one of those more hectic environments where you don't go if you don't have to. So by the time I got to the airport, I had plenty of my own baggage, looking for, whoever this speaker was going to be, because somehow we'd forgotten to bother to describe one another to each other. So I just had to find someone named Starkey at the airport. It actually turned out to be much easier, and that wasn't one of the funny lines. Every once in a while, you have an opportunity to meet someone who, in a matter of moments, can have a profound difference in your life. And the ride back from the airport, two alcoholics, Friday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon traffic, we had a conversation, and my life shifted. She lives life large. She lives life out loud. She questioned this morning at breakfast if it was possible for someone to have too much fun. I don't think so, and neither does she. And I think you'll add to the list of those people that you know by one name. I don't know, in my world it's Madonna, Tina, Cher. After tonight, you'll add Starkey to that list. Help me welcome her up to the stage.
Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Woo! I'm going to kind of turn this around for y'all's sake. This may be helpful, okay? I'm just high-strung. I'm like a gasoline rag most of the time. My name is Starkey, and I'm an alcoholic. Today I can say I'm glad I'm an alcoholic because I have a solution. I haven't always had a solution. Born and raised in Dallas, and I wasn't a very happy kid. I was fat, and kids make fun of fat kids, and that hurt my feelings. And I didn't want people to know I had hurt feelings, and so I found out at an early age when kids call you fat names, if you whoop their ass, they'll back off. I will tell you this, if there are any people in here that are sensitive to profanity, I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you now. If you're very religious, you may want to leave. I've spent most of my sobriety working on a hell of a lot of more important things than cussing. I'm going to get around to it, okay? Just give me a little more time. It just hadn't been on the top of my list. I'm going to get around to it, though. It will come. But so if you're offended by that, you can go ahead and leave now. If it's really bothering you, pray for me, okay? Don't feel bad about journaling about me. Go ahead and write it in a step. If it takes that, call your sponsor, whatever you need to do. You can talk bad about me. You won't be the first. So anyway, I was a fat kid. People called me fat names. I'd whip their ass, and that felt really good. And I rode that for a long, long time. I really rode it too long, but you know how it is, especially us alcoholics. If something feels good, we just ride it in the ground. And so, being mean worked for me for a long time, but the thing is that I got so rooted into my misery. You can tell I ain't really ever been on the girly side. And when I was young, I know it's hard to believe, but when I was a kid, I'm a little older than I look, but when I was a kid, we had to wear a dress to school, okay? Now, you talk about embarrassing. I had to wear a dress to school, okay? Well, I think that's shameful. And it was a bit embarrassing, and I became quite destructive over that. I tore shit up at school. I flooded the bathroom. And I fight a lot at school and that kind of stuff, and I was a pretty miserable kid. And I found that it felt better to tear shit up. It felt better to push people around. It made me feel better to be mean. It made me feel better to beat people up. And so I did it. And that worked for me for a long time. I had a bullied-ass brother, and he used to push me around, so I'd push somebody else around. I really think that I was okay till I was about 5. Now, and the reason I say that is that I was the baby till I was 5, and then my mother had another child, and I wasn't the baby no more. I think that's when my problems really started. But anyway, I started drinking when I was about 12, and you know what? When I started drinking, and the first time I got drunk, you know what? I was 5'8", 122 pounds. I had muscles out to here, and I was cute and some more shit, and I was fine and athletic, and you couldn't touch me with a stick. So I kept on drinking. You know how we are. So anyway, drinking worked for me for a long time, even though the first time I ever got drunk was the first time I drank. It was the first time I ever got drunk. And I'm going to find some place to put this that it don't cost. And so I drank like that all the time after that. I woke up, I didn't wake up out of a blackout. I woke up in the bathtub of my house the next day and just covered in some kind of strawberry-colored puke. And and I decided, you know what? I had drank some Seagram's VO, and I thought, Seagram's VO is not good for you. So I didn't drink any more Seagram's VO. And then I continued on, but I always drank like that. I was a blackout drunk from jump up and get it, and I always have been, and was until I quit, still a blackout drunk. Of course, later on, I got to where I drank beer so I could drink longer, and, you could drink beer for a long time till you pass out. So anyway, I started drinking when I was 12, because since I was a fat little kid, my mother, being the enabler that she took me to our family doctor, and he gave me some diet pills, and I was 12 years old. Well, you talk about a mean-ass kid on diet pills. God. There within lies the problem. So anyway, needless to say, I was out of control at an early age. But I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and so I started dealing drugs. And that always leads to other things, and so be it. And anyway, I got my first DWI right out of high school. Got a few after that, and in 1972, I started playing women's professional football, and I played offensive and defensive tackle for the Dallas Bluebonnets, and hell yeah! And so we got to whoop each other's ass every Sunday afternoon, and they flew us all over the United States, and we played NFL rules, and all us lesbians just whooped each other up and down the football field, and they didn't pay us but about $25. Hell, we'd have done it for free. And you know what? I think sometimes at the bar we did do it for free. But anyway, we did it. And then we'd all go out and party. They had a team in L.A. They had a team up in Philly. They had a team in Ohio. And they had a team in, I can't even remember where all. Hell, I can't believe I remember we played. But I do know we played. My knees tell me we played. Anyway, that's what I've been rode hard and put up with. I got bad knees, a bad neck. But you know, I had a lot of fun. They said I did, so I know I did. Anyway, I played football for about 4 years, and I just had as much fun as I could stand, and I was just broke down. We did drugs. We drank and drank and drank and drank. We drank and puked before we played, and drank and drank and drank some more. And so in about 70-something, blur, I think it was about 77, right after we quit playing football, I needed to dry out a little bit. You know, I couldn't put two thoughts together. And when I did, I couldn't remember what they were. And so a buddy of mine, she decided that we needed to go to church. So we tried to go to church for a little while. And you know how it is. They don't like queers at church, and you know, they don't want to hear our shit, and they don't want you dipping snuff, and they don't want you chasing girls, and they will, you know, when they start that dress shit with me, you know, I'm out of there, so. Anyway, you know, I tried. I really did try. I tried as hard as I could. But, you know, it is not humanly possible to be as good as they think that they're trying to tell you to be. And I was rudely misled. And but I did learn something very important that I took with me, that I took to heart, and I learned that God loved me and I'm going to hell. And that's important. It's important to know. God loves me and I'm going to hell. So I thought, well, shit, we might as well have a little bit of fun if we got to go. Because, you know, like, they want you to be so good. I mean, you can't look up a girl's dress or nothing, you know, or you're going to hell. I mean, you got to catch it just, you know, they throw all that blink of an eye shit on you. I mean, you ain't got a chance. So, anyway, needless to say, I tried the best I could. I just couldn't be that good. And anyway, I stuck around long as I could, and then when I couldn't stand it no more, I had to go. And I tried a geographic, and I tried first one thing and another, and first thing I knew, I had another DWI, and I think I had another one after that, pretty close. And you know, once you quit drinking and start again, it seems like you never quit drinking, or you had to hurry up and catch up with all the time you wasn't drinking or something. I don't know. It just, you know how it is. They got a lot of cute little sayings for it, but I just know what happened, and it just went downhill quickly. So anyway, I think it was in about 80-something. I got a DWI, and I was on probation for a DWI, and in Texas that means penitentiary time. Well, that was the first time, so I went for about 2 years, and you know, I'd been telling everybody how damn tough I was. And, you know, in Texas, they say don't mess with Texas. Well, they are not kidding. Do not drive fast through there. Don't throw nothing out the window. Don't have nothing stuck under the seat. Do not mess with Texas. Prison is an industry there. And so anyway, I went to prison, and you know, I thought I was all tough. And you know, I saw some of my old friends there. I wondered what happened to them, and hell, that's where they're at. They're in prison. And so I went to prison, and you know, I stayed, and sure enough, the yellow went away in my eyes, and I kind of put on a little weight, which ain't too hard for me. And then all of a sudden, it was time for me to go, and it seemed like I just barely got there, and it was time to leave already. And time just went like that, you know. And so I got back to Dallas, and I'll be damned, I didn't know more across the county line, and I was drunk. And so, you know, some things never change. And I was with some little old gal, and she'd had about enough of me, and I think she up and moved to El Paso. And I come out of a blackout in El Paso one day, and I thought, well, looky here. They sure got some pretty mountains here, don't they? No habla Espanol, but it sure is pretty. And so anyway, like a good alcoholic, are you having any trouble with the words I'm saying? I didn't know if you knew how to pronounce them all the way I say them. Yeah, I'm just playing with you. This is fun, ain't it? Woo! Let me tell you something. If you ain't laughing tonight, you better go home and kick yourself in the ass. Oh, man. Anyway. To make a long story short, I ended up going back and forth from El Paso to Dallas with a bunch of shitload of drugs, and you know how that goes. Police get in the middle of all that, and it's several real funny stories in the middle, but I got some other ones that I'm going to tell instead of that. There is some tapes that have that on there, and they are hilarious, but I'm not going to tell them tonight. But anyway, it has to do with Monahans and sand dunes and Deputy Dog and all that. But anyway, needless to say, I go back to prison again. This time for 20 years. That's exactly how I felt. 2 years is cute. Anybody can do 2 years, If you got 2 years, you do a couple months and you just skip in and you say hi to a few people, and your roots grow out and, you quit biting your fingernails and you put on a little weight and your face clears up, you're okay. You go do 20 years, you know what? Your mama's going to die. You ain't going to know your family. Your friends all going to move away and they ain't going to tell what's going to happen. You ain't going to know. You know what? They were going to come out with CDs, telephones that talk, soda pop machines that give no telling what's going to happen. 20 years, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to, the world is going to revolve right on by. What the hell's going to happen if I ain't out here to run it? God damn. So anyway, needless to say, I'm a little bummed out. And I'm finna go to prison for 20 years, and here I bust a move off over here. Well, I'm a little bitter this time, needless to say. Here I go off in here, and first thing off in the door, they throw a dress at you. That's a problem for me. So I got the dress on, with my T-shirt under it, wearing my whitey tighties they give me, and my knee-high socks with my high-top tennis shoes. You got the picture yet? I was a sight. And here's the pisser. I'm angry. I'm so very angry. Woo! I don't like me. I don't like you. I don't want you to look at me. I don't want you to talk to me. I don't want you to sit by me. And, that's kind of hard in prison because you got to go everywhere with somebody. You never have a minute to yourself, okay? And so, anyway, blah, 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 you go in and, when... You know how it is, after a while you get discouraged and you just ain't got no more reason to lie. And so you go through this thing and you go through a psychiatric evaluation and they want to know when and why and where and who and what. And I just told them the damn truth. And a few days later, they came back and they told me they thought I had a drug and alcohol problem. I was insulted, offended, embarrassed, humiliated, degraded. You don't know me. I don't believe you can talk about me like that. You know? I've only had 5 DWIs, beat 2, 7 on the books, 2 major drug charges. So my daddy was in prison. So I got brothers and sisters in the penitentiary. That's none of your business. My mother goes to church. Anyway, dear Ann Richards was the governor of Texas at the time, and she insisted that anybody that was in for a drug and alcohol-related crime must, before they even consider making parole, had to go to 33 meetings of Alcoholics /NA Anonymous. So there I was, and I thought, well, you know, this is degrading, insulting, embarrassing. I think it's just a little late. I don't see the point. I'm pissed off, mad, sad, sick, bitching. And then some. So I have to go to AA. In prison. Seems like it's a little late to me. So anyway, I bust a move off into the AA in prison, and it was a joke, you know, and a couple of little old gals up the front sitting up there, and they just want to greet you at the door and just jump up your ass and shake your hand and pat you on the back, and they're just so damn happy to be there. You want to slap the piss out of them. And come on in, Starkey. You want to sit up here by me? Come on. Oh, glad you came today. It's like, I like it just fine back here in the back. So I sat in the back for a while, and looked at the girls and dead flies in the window and all that kind of stuff. I didn't pay attention for a long time, and it all came down to it. You know, if you sit by yourself for long enough and listen to the wind blow through your soul at night, and listen to the doors clang, and lay there and listen to your heart beat in your head, and the sound of your own voice saying, man, you know, it wasn't supposed to go down like this. What happened? What happened? What the hell happened? Man, it started out and it was so fun. Remember when we was alive at a party? Remember when everybody wanted to come over to our house? What the hell happened? And I just happened to be fortunate enough to lay there enough lonely nights and cry myself to sleep enough nights that I heard God say, Starkey, get up off your sorry dead ass and do something with your life. Get up off your angry ass and do something with yourself. You know, you're going to sit in here and rot, or you're going to get up here and be somebody. What are you going to do? You're going to just sit in here and lose all your teeth and let your hair fall out? You're going to get up here and you're going to be somebody. What are you going to do? Oh, no. Well, I had a little longer to sit there and think about it. Matter of fact, I had about 3 years of long, sad, lonely, cold, no air conditioning, nights in Texas, long, hot summer days. Oh! I didn't stay a day too long, and I didn't leave a day too early. I stayed just what it took to know that I needed to get up off my ass and say, God, help me. Help me. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me. What do you want me to do? I'll do it. Whatever you tell me to do. Wherever you tell me to go. Whatever you tell me to say. Just tell me and I'll go. Just tell me and I'll do it. God damn, please don't send me to Africa. I heard it stinks over there. Just kidding, just kidding. And you know the thing is that this chick told me, one of them smart-ass girls, I had to start talking to those girls. And I had to start little bitty things, I said, why y'all so damn happy? Well, Starkey, I'm working a program. Give me a program. I didn't get one. No, like I read the steps and we worked them, and when I got through, I was happy. Oh, I can do that. 7 to 10 days, I'll knock them out. Woo, I'll be happy. And I read the first step, and it said, y'all admitted y'all was powerless and that y'all's life had become unmanageable, but what about me? Shit, what about me? I ain't like y'all. Damn, what about me? It's going to be harder than I thought. So every single, and I wouldn't let nobody help me. Hell no, you can't help me. It's my program. It's my program. If I need your help, I'll ask for it. Look, when we got to the God thing, I had to ask this girl. This is real cool because, we never had no, really family values in my family, and I was in prison with this chick, and her and her mother and her grandma were all there together. Family! Yes! See, if my mama was in prison, I could have done more time. If I'd had my dog, I could have done more time. But I didn't have to. I stayed long enough. So anyway, I worked the steps a couple times. I had a little time. Worked the steps a few times. Got out. Worked the steps 2.5 times, as a matter of fact. Got out of prison. I want to tell you about this because I had to do the God deal. I had to be real bad. God loved me. I'm going to hell. So somebody told me I had to get a better God, and I said, well, you're right about that. I do need to get a new God. So how do you go about getting a new God? And they said, well, you can just make one up. Ooh, that's cool. I got a good imagination. Take a piece of paper at the top. God is. Just start writing. God is a Cowboy fan. God likes to play pinball. God can take a joke. God don't care if I cuss. God don't care if I smoke cigarettes. God don't care if I like girls. And at the bottom, God is not. God is not mad at me. God is not keeping score. God is not got no hell. They're going to be surprised, ain't they? They jumping through. And so then, I had this real cool God, and I'm like, so then here's the hard part though. I had this real cool God, but then I had to start trying to communicate. And so I'm like, with this piece of paper, hey God, how's it going? I felt like 3, Yeah. I don't want nobody to look at me or see me or nothing, Because, I still got to fight over the TV and shit, do my gangster shit on the side, because you got to play the game when you're in the penitentiary. You got to play the game. You don't want nobody to know you're soft. And you can't be too nice. I mean, you can be, nice on the cool, but you can't, really be too nice, okay? But I would kind of, be a little bit nice, but I didn't want to be, soft, okay? So I'm still working on it. That's what I mean. I've been busy with a lot of other things. That's how come the cussing hadn't really took priority. So anyway, me and Artis was talking about that earlier about, have changed the gangster shit. So anyway, I worked the steps. I finally got me a God. I got me a cool God. I got me a God that likes me. You know, that's what you got to get, a God that likes you, because, like, the God that went to church, because, like, I hadn't been sober in a long time, except for that little time I went to church, and then I was so paranoid that God was going to get me, like when I was working looking at the girls and dipping stuff on the side, you know, and smoking cigarettes and shit. I really wasn't having much fun, so. Okay, so now I'm out of prison, but, you know, see, I'm, like, still a convict, because I don't know what else to be. I don't know what else to be. And so I start, this lady from AA comes and she brings me home. She come from Waco and she brought me home to Dallas. Everybody say, oh, you know, you got to go to meetings the first day. So I said, well, you know, how am I going to get me? I ain't got a car or nothing. You know, like, what am I going to give my mama to give me a ride? Give my mama to give me a ride. So they said, no, man, you call. Call to the AA place and they'll come get you. So, like, I'm going to call them and say, hey, I just got out of prison today. Come give me a ride. They said, yeah, do that. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I call up there and I said, yeah, I need to find me a group over in Oak Cliff. And, okay, Oak Cliff, here you go. And I call over and I said, hey, I got out of prison today, man. Can you give me a ride? Yeah, what's your address? I thought, oh, shit, I don't want them to know where I live. You don't know what kind of people's in AA. So I told him I lived 2 blocks away, and I ran down there to meet him. And then I started going to AA every day. I went to AA, and I would come home, and I would take a shower, and I would go to work. And, you know, I started working for my dad. You know, I'm a mechanic by trade. And I started working for my dad and running his little shop. And every day I would go to a meeting. I was too scared to do anything else. I went to straight AA. This was like Skid Row AA. They would have 2 days, and then they'd come back 3 days later and have 1 day, and come back 5 days later and have 2 days, and come back, you know. But, you know, I went there for 2 years, and, like, they made me the chairperson of the group. And finally, thank God, I outgrew the group, because I started to have real feelings. You know, I finally started to have, as a matter of fact, I started to have a lot of feelings. I had so many feelings I didn't know what to do with them. And when I was about 4 years sober, you know, like I say, I still acted like a hoodlum. I just wasn't drinking. I just wasn't smoking weed. I wasn't doing speed. I wasn't doing no drugs, but I still acted like a hoodlum, because that's all I knew. All I'd ever been was a thug. All I'd ever been was a street punk. All I'd ever been was an asshole. And I was mean. And that's all I ever been. All I could do was talk shit and beat you up and push and push. And I didn't know how not to push. And so, man, you know, I beat up a couple people and shit, but I was sober. And you know, I got in a little trouble here and there, and then I ended up stabbing a guy. But I was sober. And, you know, that kind of went bad on me. And I didn't mean no harm, really, but he said he was going to kick my ass. And then he changed his mind. Had a knife about this big. He didn't know about it. So he changed his mind and he called the police. You know, then they saw my record, and so it would have been like my 10th felony conviction. So they offered me a plea bargain of 35 to life. And I was 4 years sober. And I didn't want to go back to prison. And I didn't think it was fair. But I didn't know how to be nothing else. And nobody at the group I went to knew how to tell me to do anything different. Nobody knew how to tell me to quit beating people up. Nobody knew how to tell me to stop it. And I didn't know how to quit doing it. And so finally, I begged God every day, God, please don't send me back to prison. Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't know how to change. I would if I knew how. You know how it is. I mean, if I gave you a carburetor and asked you to put a kid in it, could you? Probably not. That's like coming to me and telling me, like to be a nice person. I didn't know how. Because, like, my big thing was, and I don't mean no disrespect whatsoever to Hispanic people, but my thing was that when Mexican guys would come up, and especially straight men was what I'd be up, when Hispanic people would come up to me and they would just say, look at us, in my head, they said, fucking bitch, get over there and fix my goddamn car. In reality, what they would say was, ma'am, could you please go over and see why my check engine light is on so you can tell me how much it costs to fix it? $35 to life. A plea bargain, they usually tell you to take it. It's the best you'll get without going to court. 35 to life. I was almost 5 years sober. This has been my 10th felony conviction. What am I supposed to do? 8 months, every day, I cried and I begged God, please don't send me back to prison. What do you want out of me? What am I supposed to do? And then one day I got up. You know how it is when you just had enough and you begged enough. And one day I got up and I said, you know what? I ain't begging you today. You're going to send me to prison? I'll pack my shit and send me to prison. If that's what I got to do, and if that's what you want out of me, send me to prison. I'm not going to drink. It ain't worth it. I'll go to prison. You got something for me to do there. I know that. So if you want me to go to prison, that's what I'll do. My attorney called that night and said, we're going to court in the morning. Oh, God damn it. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot God was my friend for a minute. So anyway, went to court the next day. This is a hoot, man, because my attorney been telling me for 8 months. Said, look here, if we go to court, you got to get up there, and when the judge tells you, you got to say, when this guy bumped your chest, you got to say, Judge, I fear for my life. I said, man, I'd take that dude down. I'm scared of him. He said, Starkey, no. You got to tell the judge you feared for your life. I said, I can't, Jim. He said, listen, you're going to go back to the penitentiary. He said, you may be there for the rest of your life. You better tell the judge you feared for your life. I said, I don't know if I can. He said, okay, then I'm going to leave it up to you. And like I say, I'm like a gasoline rag. I'm highly excitable and it don't take nothing. And so I'm up there and I get up, then the guy goes up first and he tells the judge, you look here. Girl she hit me with the car, broke my leg, I've been in the hospital. He told him all this shit, and that didn't happen. I didn't hit him with the car. I drove it real close to him. But I didn't hit him with it. The judge wanted to see the hospital bill, said he didn't have none. He didn't go to the hospital. My daddy was sitting right there. He didn't go to the hospital. I didn't hit him with the car. I drove it real close. But I was trying to aggravate him, and I told the judge that. I said, I got a real problem. I said, I'm not going to tell you I don't. I got a problem. I resent straight men. He ain't the first one I whooped. I had to be honest. I learned enough to be honest. And I said, he ain't the first one I whooped. And I said, I did. I aggravated him. And I said, you know what? And he come up, and this guy was about 6'2", and he weighed about 220. I'm 5'1" on a good day. And I ain't going to tell you how much I weigh. But anyway, and this guy come up, and I said, and you know what? And he came and he bumped my chest, and I said, I'm free from the love, and I just stuck him with a knife. Oh! They let me go. But you know what? They told me that I need to get some help. And they told me that my behavior was socially unacceptable. And I thought, I didn't start it. And they told that guy, he said, the next time you pick on somebody, you better find somebody you can whoop. And then he told me, he said, you can't beat up everybody you don't like. And in my head, I thought, why? And he said, you can't attack everybody you don't get along with. And I thought, well, what do you do? What do you do then? How are you supposed to handle it? Because you know what? I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. Nobody had never told me. That's what my daddy did. That's what my brothers did. That's what everybody in my family did. That's all I knew how to do, was fight and holler and scream. So anyway, they made me go learn how to be nice. And I did. And then I had to go to a new AA group where they liked me. Because I didn't know how to have a feeling. I didn't know how to be scared out loud. I didn't know how to grow up out loud in front of anybody. I didn't know how to sit there and be nervous. I didn't know how to be embarrassed. I didn't know how to be humiliated. I didn't know how to be mad and not beat you up. I had to learn that in AA. I sit on the very front row. I sit in the same chair every day because that's where I have all my, those. That's where I feel good. That's where I feel bad. That's where I grow. In the same chair, I have paid with my life for that chair. And that's when I started going to Lambda. This must have been about maybe 95 or something. I started going to Lambda, Dallas. First meeting I went to over there was like, and I was still working the steps through all this. And all this going to jail and all this fighting and all this. I didn't drink. And I was acting like a crazy person. Some people don't even act like I was acting drunk. And I was sober. That's kind of disturbing, but I try not to think about that too much. That could really bum me out. Oh yeah, they also gave me some medicine so I wouldn't jump on people too. They have a name for it, but I don't know what the name of it is, but anyway. So I quit beating people up. I haven't only had a couple of fights, and a couple of them's been with my sponsees, but we just rolled around and dog shit in my backyard over something. We didn't really throw any punches. We just headlocked each other and rolled around, and she was telling me that I worked a shitty program and that I was a liar and stuff, and that made me mad because I didn't really feel like it was true, and it really wasn't true. I don't even know why that all happened, but it was fun anyway, so. Anyway, I digress. So, I started going to Lambda, and I started learning how to have feelings, and I started learning how to have disagreements with people and still have a friend. And I learned how to spill coffee in the floor and not have to jump up and throw chairs. I learned how to. I'm not kidding, man. Because at my house, if you spilled anything, you better run because somebody's going to pay for that shit. And I learned how to. I still have trouble with if I spill water on. It's like oh. My partner, she's funny. She says, get the towel, pick the glass up. Okay, wipe it. That's good. And I just, the whole miracle of this thing is that God is so cool. I am one of those people that is supposed to be warehoused in the penitentiary for the rest of my life. But God got a job for me, and I didn't even have to fill out an application. God got something for me to say and something for me to do, and I'm really happy that He picked me. I feel like that AA was made special for me because I'm not one of those people that could get this in church. I'm not one of those people that could get this from from some other kind of deal. You know, I had to have something that we can come in and have people like my friends that come here, and they love me even though I'm crazy half the time and I'm ornery. I'm like I'm 8 years old. I pinch people and tickle them and give them nookies on their head and always patting them on the... I'm like 8 years old most of the time, and you know what? It's okay for me to be that way because, you know, I was not a very happy kid. I was not a happy kid at all, and to come in here and people in AA liked me. And people when I was a kid didn't like me. I was not a likable person at all. And I worked the steps, and I worked the steps in prison, and I continue to work the steps. And I love Alcoholics Anonymous with everything that's inside of me. It has made me a person that I love. I love who I am today. And I could never even look in the mirror at myself. And, I mean, you know, I just couldn't stand who I was. And today I like me, you know. Today I think I'm okay. And you know, that's what it takes. And I want to tell you something. If God can take somebody like me, if God can take me, sit me still long enough, say, Starkey, get up off your ass. Go be somebody. I said, okay, I can do that. So can you. You know what? I ain't no better than. I ain't no worse than. You know, we all in the same boat. We're all dying of the same disease. And one thing I want to tell you is that I so appreciate all you guys from the Roundup. You know, y'all been so nice to me. Everybody in AA is so nice to me these days. You know, it's a pleasure to be affiliated with people in AA. Because to be known and loved as a member of something. You know, I never fit in anywhere. I mean, you guys know what it feels like. You never fit in anywhere. Then you come to a place like this, there's 1,000 people around, and you feel like you know half of them. You know, and it's just, I mean, you go around and you sit in people's laps, and you rub people on their head, and you hold their hand when you talk to them. I mean, how good does that feel? How many people in the world are missing out on this, man? You know? How many people are dying of this disease and never get to hold people's hands when they talk or sit next to somebody and rub them on their leg or rub their back when they sit? How many people are dying of this disease and don't ever get to feel the love that we get to feel? I feel so sad for them, and I feel so happy for us because you know what? We got it, and we get to keep it. And all it means is that we don't have to drink. We don't have to drink no more. And I just want to tell each and every one of y'all that I really, really love you, and I thank you for making me feel at home. Thank you.